There is growing speculation that Emmerdale could be preparing an emotional farewell for Moira Dingle, according to a recent fan theory. Moira made her debut on the ITV drama back in 2009 and rapidly became a favourite among audiences. It's also clear that her journey has been filled with both joyful moments and serious struggles over the years. From becoming part of the Dingle family through marriage to coping with her daughter's tragic drug overdose, her life in the village has been far from uneventful. Right now, her situation is especially intense, as she remains behind bars after being set up by Joe Tate in connection with a human trafficking operation. Even though she wasn't entirely innocent, Moira ended up facing accusations of killing both Celia and Anya. At the same time, her husband Cain has been battling cancer, while money troubles forced her to give up the much-loved Butler's farm to Joe and Kim Tate. Although there has been no official confirmation that Moira is leaving the show, a fresh fan theory hints that her exit might be approaching. One fan questioned how she could possibly secure her release from prison, suggesting that even if she does, Natalie might step away for a while after handling so many major storylines. Another viewer expressed doubt about her future, while a third agreed that a break seems likely. In the meantime, Natalie, who plays Moira, recently dropped hints about upcoming developments in an interview. She shared that tensions between the Dingles and the Tates are set to intensify, particularly involving Moira and Joe, making it clear that he is firmly on her radar. She also addressed spoilers about Joe potentially destroying her late daughter Holly's memorial on the farm, explaining that Moira sees this as crossing a line. However, she suggested that these events may only strengthen Moira's resolve, as she carefully considers her next move, possibly choosing to wait for the right moment before taking action. Joe's shocking actions involving Holly's memory in Emmerdale are set to leave viewers completely appalled. Joe Tate has carried out plenty of ruthless schemes over the years, but going after someone who has already passed away is a whole new level of cruelty. It's hard not to feel frustrated by the person he's become, especially when those closest to him seem blind to his behaviour. At this stage, it's difficult not to question why his fiancée Dawn Taylor hasn't recognised his toxic and spiteful nature. Even Graham Foster is taken aback by just how far Joe's dark side has developed. He reacts with disbelief upon discovering that Joe created a bank account in Lydia Dingle's name in order to falsely accuse her of stealing from Kim Tate. This twisted plan was driven by revenge after Joe found out that Kim intended to leave Home Farm to Lydia in her will. Despite Lydia having no involvement in that decision, Joe still chose to drag her into the situation as an innocent victim. There's no doubt that Joe struggles to accept defeat. However, his latest move isn't actually aimed at Kim this time. Interestingly, he's also under suspicion for attempting to poison her with mushrooms, although that's a separate issue altogether. In this storyline, Joe is pushing ahead with his takeover of Butler's farm, showing no respect for its history as the Dingle family's home, or for Moira Dingle's once thriving farming business. His goal appears to be wiping away any trace of their presence as he continues expanding his control. As work gets underway on the land, Joe instructs builders to clear out one of the farm's old fields entirely, which tragically includes Holly's memorial site. Holly, Moira's daughter, died following a drug overdose, making Joe's decision even more disturbing. The situation becomes even more upsetting considering Kim had previously reassured Moira in prison that Holly's resting place would be preserved and left untouched after the farm was sold. Unfortunately, Kim didn't anticipate just how heartless Joe could be. Emmerdale delivered an unexpected twist, as the apparent truce between Kim Tate and Chas Dingle turned out to be far more complicated than it seemed. What initially looked like a genuine attempt at peace quickly revealed itself to be something much less straightforward, especially as the future of the village farm entered a new phase. Earlier in the month, Kim, with help from Joe, succeeded in taking control of Butler's farm after reaching a deal with Moira during her time in prison. Ownership of the land was later handed over to Robert Sugden and Aaron, Yet it soon became clear that the storyline was far from over. Cain and the wider Dingle family strongly opposed Robert and Aaron's alliance with the Tates, with Chas emerging as one of the most outspoken critics, directing particularly harsh comments at Kim. Despite this tension, earlier teasers suggested that the two women might be able to put their differences aside and reach some kind of understanding. The episode began with Kim and Chas trading sarcastic remarks outside the pub before opening hours, hinting at lingering hostility beneath the surface. They later stepped into the Woolpack for a quiet drink, where Chas proposed a temporary truce, admitting she was exhausted by everything their family had endured. Kim responded with her trademark sharp wit, but there were subtle signs that both women were beginning to acknowledge each other's position. The pair then moved into a more private setting to share a glass of wine, during which Kim received a call from Graham Foster. Chas questioned whether Kim was always expected to answer to him, but Kim brushed off the suggestion and deliberately ignored the call. Although their interaction suggested a slight thaw in relations, trouble was still brewing elsewhere in the village. At the same time, Belle was leading a daring Dingle plan to steal cattle from the farm. The family created a series of diversions to keep Joe occupied while he searched for the missing animals, including Charity staging a fake labor scare. Their strategy worked perfectly, giving Belle enough time to complete the operation successfully. It was eventually uncovered that Chas had been part of the scheme from the very beginning, with her peace offering merely acting as a distraction to mislead Kim. After confidently admitting her involvement, Chas was met with a cold and ominous warning from Kim, who made it clear she would now be on high alert. Emmerdale favourite Lisa Riley has shared a positive update with fans after experiencing an unfortunate fall. The star, known for portraying Mandy Dingle on the ITV soap, slipped from her breakfast stool over the weekend and suffered a serious injury to her left thumb. As a result of the fall, she required surgery at Leeds General Infirmary and was later placed in a supportive sling. The actress has now turned to Instagram to thank her supporters and give an update on her recovery following the procedure. In a video message, she greeted her audience while showing her injured hand to the camera, pointing out the iodine still visible from the operation. She expressed deep appreciation for the overwhelming love and encouragement she has received online, saying it meant a great deal to her. She admitted that she is currently in pain, but remains focused on healing and recovering properly. Riley also explained how the accident happened, describing how she fell from a polished high stool while wearing a cardigan, humorously comparing the incident to sliding uncontrollably. Having first appeared as Mandy in 1995, she revealed that her thumb required extensive treatment after the injury, jokingly referring to her new stool with a playful nickname. Emmerdale is broadcast on weekdays from Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and available to stream on ITVX.